Hydration helps everyone feel safe. Choose a comfort food. All right, good afternoon, everybody. It's been a while. I'm super glad to be here. I want to say a very big thank you to everybody. Let me know if you can hear me, and let me know where you're joining us from. So let me just take a share so that people can um, participate. So today we're going to be talking Lagos real estate. Okay, so please let's hear the audio. All right, so it's an honor to be here. So I want to say a very big thank you to everybody. I've not been around for months, and it's due to some circumstances that were way beyond my control, and I sincerely apologize for that. So let me know where you're joining us from. Let's have a meaningful conversation today. Thank you very much for staying tuned. So today we're going to talk about Lagos demolitions. I've been talking about this for quite some time, and a lot of people have been asking questions. So today, please just let me extend that fan a little bit to the side. So I'm going to be sharing the link now for those who are not here, and I'll also be going live on Facebook as well. So my job basically, okay, is to inform you. Okay, so let's connect to Facebook as well. So my job basically is to inform you. Though there've been a lot of arguments, a lot of opinions concerning this, and I also want to say a very big thank you to everybody. Okay, so all right, so I'm logging out of this place now. Now, one thing you must understand is that if you switch off the phone, just leave it. I'll face YouTube alone. You switch off the phone. All right, so we're going to face basically. You switched it off, remove it. So let's talk about Lagos demolitions. Three important things you need to know. Um, I'll also be talking about some important information which I've jotted here and why you have to be very, very careful. Now, basically, a lot of things have happened behind the scene. And like I said initially, there are some circumstances that were way beyond my control. I should have brought this information earlier, but you never can never say never. So I'm here bringing it to you. So now, when you're buying real estate in Lagos, the business of real estate now has gone beyond persuasion. It has gone beyond just mere recommendation. Anybody now that is giving recommendations should be aware of some major infrastructure that will be coming up in the states. And that is why it is very important that as a real estate investor, you must never ever, okay, undermine, the expertise and the knowledge of whosoever is making such recommendations. These things are very critical and they are very important. More importantly, if you are investing in Lagos. Now, I'm going to start with the Lagos Calabar Coastal Road. Um, Many of us are aware of what is going on. The road has been opening for operations. Of course, I have a lengthy, should I say lengthy, like a 9 minute video that explains some of the things that are happening in this coastal road. And I'm going to be explaining some things. But the reason why I've decided to start today's conversation using the coastal road basically is that government is going to start the enforcement of the 150 meters setback. I've made videos talking about what you need to understand about the Lagos Calabar Coastal Road, and I also made a lot of comments. So if you have been a follower of this page, you should probably be well informed about what is happening and what you should expect. So I'm not going to go into details because I've done a lot of videos concerning that. Now, the shocking thing basically is that I was thinking that the 150-meter setback is going to be on both sides of the coastal road, which means the entry and the exit. Okay. But I recently discovered basically that they're enforcing the setback to one part of this of the road. Now, my major concern basically is due to the fact that a lot of buildings have been marked for demolitions, and according to government, they said that some of these projects falls immediately inside the proposed right of way, which is where it is marked for legal for the setback. The painful part basically is that there's an estate that is very close to the coastal road. There are duplexes there, and a lot of people have bought, properties there. And unfortunately, this estate also falls within the right of way, and it has been marked for demolitions. I honestly don't know how soon government intends to start the demolition enforcement. Don't worry, I'll just face. I don't know how soon government intends to start the enforcement for the right of way, but they've started marking properties. More importantly, along the Lagos Calabar Coastal Road. So if you have any project there that you intend to do, I will make a honest recommendation that try as much as you can, okay, to patiently wait and let's see how events will unfold, because some of these things are very, very. Can you bring phone, please? Some of these things are, I would say, rather unfortunate, but this is just the way things are. So that is one of the demolitions that you should pay attention to. And one of the things I've also said, if you have been following my videos, is that I've always been talking about um, working with a professional and getting to know the government plan before you start investing. Another looming demolitions that is set to hit the Lagos State real estate market is the demolitions for the right of way of the Lagos Epe, the Lekki Epe Expressway. And the reason why this actually struck, differently, basically, is due to the fact that there was an initial setbacks that was enmarked, and according to the information I got, basically the setback was supposed to be between 20 to 30 meters, and because of the fact that a lot of unseen circumstances have happened, as in the course of time, there's every likelihood, though it's not made official, official, but sometimes we get information ahead. That's one of the importance of having people in government parastatals. So the tendency that the setback for the Lekki Expressway will be extended is very high. And the reason for that basically is due to the fact that there's going to be a gas pipeline, okay, that's going to pass across that Lekki Expressway. And according to informations that we have at our disposal, we found out that government intends to use that pipeline, though unverified at the moment, but sometimes this information could be turn out to be true. So we find out that the gas pipeline is going to be used for, power generation in the airport and other parts of ibeju-lekki. So you also want to watch out for that. So what you should do basically is that as you are investing in any properties along the Lekki Epe Expressway, whether it is the Abramadesoya, the Ogombo, the Abijo, the Awoyaya, all the way from Abramadesoya down to Epe, please bear in mind that there's going to be a rail line the right and a gas pipeline to the left. So if you are investing or you are buying properties, put this into consideration, because you see it's going to be very, very significant, and you definitely don't want to overlook this. So these are some of the important information that we want to share. So going forward, how should you approach the industry going forward? Now, a diaspora reached out to me earlier this year, and we're supposed to help him get a project, okay, along that Lekki Airport Expressway. It's a very, very fantastic project, and obviously everybody will definitely want to be part of that project. But because of the fact that I was not so sure of government regulations concerning that setback, I prevented him from buying that property. And surprisingly, after advising him not to invest in those properties, that was when this information that there's going to be an extension of the setback, and I was glad that he didn't invest in it. So if you are investing, I'm not saying you should not invest in this region, because sometimes when I make, precise and educated videos like this, people tend to misunderstand what I'm trying to explain to you. I'm not saying you should not invest there. What I'm saying is that as you're investing, put it into consideration that there's going to be a road expansion, there's going to be a setback, okay? And before the one at the Lagos Calabar Coastal Road happened, I said this several times that if government did not stipulate, okay, the number of setbacks, okay, that's going to be that will be used as a right of way, I would say basically that take your investment as far as possible. Take it with as far as possible, so that when the enforcement for this setback begins to happen, you will not become your investment will not become a casualty. So these are some of the things I said, and as we all see how events unfolds at the Lagos Calabar Coastal Road, similar situations may also. So let me use the word may also. I'm not. It's not for certainty, but it may also, happen along the Lekki Epe Expressway. So demolitions is also looming within those axes. So my advice to you who is investing is that, so that you won't come on social media and be complaining. It is, the reason why we forewarned, the reason why we give this precise information ahead of time, basically, is that for some people who are aware of this, demolitions that will come, because when I made a video about the Lekki Palm City demolitions, and I mentioned in that video that Lekki Palm City is one out of several demolitions that are coming. And of course, I also made reference to what happened at the Makoko demolitions. And we gave an insightful, these are some of the reasons why you should be part of, this channel, so that you can get first class information. So if you are not certain of the number of setback, take your investment as far away as possible. So that is just like my own one or two investments. So another place you should also be mindful that demolitions may look, of course, this one may not happen in the next 5 years, it may not happen in the next 10 years, but off the fan, off the TV. Sorry. I apologize for that. So another place where it's very, very looming, okay, like I said, it may not happen in the next 5 years, 10 years, is the a proposed international axis and the Elerongbe axis. Now, the reason why I'm saying this basically is due to the fact that there's going to be a regional road that will start from eleko, from eleko. Apologies. There's going to be a regional road construction, okay, that is going to start from the Elenogbe bus stop, the main popular Elenogbe, where we have the airport axis. Okay, so there's going to be a proposed regional road, and the one for Elenogbe, according to information that we have, is going to be a 5-lane dual carriage road. It's going to be 5 lane. Then also for the proposed Lekki International Airport, it's going to be 6 lanes. So we have two major road infrastructure that will be coming to those axes. Now, I've always said this, and I'm going to say it again. Now, government doesn't give a, they don't care. Let me just say this. They don't care if your investment falls into the right of way. Now, I'm going to give a very, very, very clear example. I was in an interaction with a diasporan. Most of my investors are people in abroad. So, and that's why sometimes I make out videos. I purposely make these videos so that I can reach out to them. Now, the reason why I'm making these videos is that many of them are not here, so they may not be aware, okay, of some of these valuable informations and contents that we're sharing. So, the purpose of this is to educate them, for them to know what they're getting themselves involved to. So, she reached out to me. She wanted to buy a property in the Elerongbe axis. Now, me taking cognizance of the fact that there's going to be a road expansion of in that Elerongbe axis, and there are a lot of properties that are along that particular road expansion. Now, the dangerous part of this is that This expansion is not happening 5 years from today. It may not even happen 6 years or 7 years from today. It may happen when government have time for that axis. So what I advised this particular investor to do basically is that now she wanted to buy, I think, a property. It was selling below, I think, I don't know, it was around 25 million. Yes, Eleko is very expensive now. It's very expensive. So she wanted to buy for 25 million. So she asked for my recommendation. And I told her basically that, okay, I know this particular company selling, and they have a government allocation. Yes, I also did a video on government allocation. So you may want to check it out. And I said, there's another developer that is selling for 35 million. And I told her that what I think she should do basically is that I informed her that there's going to be a road expansion in that area. And for that Elenogbe is 5 lane. So for the fact that some of these fences you are seeing today in that Elenogbe axis, some of those estates you are seeing, when the road construction starts, a lot of them will be affected. So my advice to her was simple. I said, Madam, in my own area of expertise, we've done our due diligence to this part, and we found out that the road expansion is going to be towards the eastern part of that Elenogbe axis. And this is where the property she wanted to buy locates. I said, why don't you just buy from this developer? Number one, they are going to perfect the allocation to when it gets to a C of O and some other things like that. So I just gave my recommendations basically. So I did not say don't buy. I did not say buy. I only said so that when situations like this, see, there are some crises and situations that will happen in the Lagos State real estate market that some developers have the expertise and the right connection to protect your investment. See, investing in Lagos is not just about rushing to the location or falling for those beautiful oratory drone pictures. No. When you are investing in Nigeria, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it without fear of condemnation or fear of being criticized. I've been criticized several times, and that's what makes my job very exciting. Now, see, I don't know for other states, so I don't know. But if you're investing in Lagos, if the person you are buying property from is not politically connected, structurally strong, your investment in the next 2 3 years might be having issues. Please pay attention of some of the words I'm using. I said might is not for certainty. Now, the reason why I'm saying this basically is that when it comes to investing in Lagos, a lot of politics are being played. When it comes to land allocations and some other things, a lot of predictable situations happened. So I told the investor, I said, this particular developer government allocation is at the final stage of a C of O. I said, buy from this one. If peradventure there's going to be a road expansion, these people have what it takes to protect your investment. If there's a need for you to be reallocated, you will still be given a place, even in other places in that same region, and your investment. So it's not about buying, it's about who you are buying from. That's the plan. That was the point I was trying to make her understand. But you see, there's something there are some things that happens, and sometimes I'm going to say this is a live video, without any fear of will I say condemnation or something. Our people don't like listening to the truth. Our people don't like listening to the truth, and basically these are some of the things that will happen. So I said this particular developer, although selling for 35 million, I said the difference between 25 that you want to buy from this one and it's just the 10 million. I said the 10 million today is better for you to buy from a developer that can protect your investment than to buy from someone who's just coming up, who may be running helter skelter when the problem arises. Because you see, some of these places, a lot of people find it extremely difficult to do the right thing. And that's why a lot of people fall into government traps and problems. See, there are some land issues, problems, you know, things that can be avoidable from the very first instance. And because of our people, because some people just choose to go for the cheap, ignoring some important things are some of those things. So demolitions will be happening in that Elenogbe axis, and it is looming. The saddest part of it is that it's not happening 2, 3, 4, 5 years from today. It will be later. Because so what I'm trying to say in essence basically is that as you are investing in Nigeria, more importantly in Lagos, be aware of some of these projects. The knowledge of this project will guide you where to invest and where not to invest. So another location you should not ignore is the Elenrongbe and the proposed international airport, because there's going to be a drive. So the road construction is going to start from the Elenrongbe um, bus stop, because you see that same Elenrongbe bus stops where we have some of these estates. The road connects and it links to the riverine area of Aja. There was a particular time we decided to drive from that Elenobe bus stops. Mine, there are communities in ibeju-lekki that many people are not even aware that exist. Yes, we drove. It was a long drive, a very very long drive. After we passed the Elenobe, we got to a community called Arapagi. From Arapagi, we got to Abegede, and from those areas, we are still driving further down, and the map was telling us that if we continue driving towards that location, we'll get to the riverine area of Aja. So it shows how interconnected. So the road basically is supposed to connect that Lelongbe down to the riverine area. So you want to be aware of some of these things. Now, another area you should also look out for as you are investing in Lagos are places where we have distressed building. Distressed building. Now, I'm not going to spend much time because today's live session is going to be very, very short. Of course, there's going to be the playback. If you have missed any part of it, do well to check at your leisure time. Now, when we talk about distressed building, now a distressed, what many people are familiar with are what we call distress sales. Okay, the owner um, needs money, intends to sell the property and make money. So we know that okay, it's a distress sale. Let's rush it. Now there are some projects in Lagos that falls under the category of distress. Now, distress sale is different from a distress building. So I'm just going to spend the next 10 minutes to explain. Now, the comment section is there. If there is anything that I have explained that you don't understand, if you have been following my videos, you should have any of my contact, whether it is my WhatsApp or my email. In fact, if you want to make it official, at propertykings.com at gmail.com, you can send me an email. Of course, I will respond to it. Now, a distressed building is a building that is not properly built. Let me say it again. A distressed building is either a dilapidated building that is due for demolition. Now, many people have this assertion that when a building is old, okay, it becomes a distressed building. Yes, larger percent of some of the distressed buildings that we have in Lagos are old buildings, but there are structures that some real estate companies are building that are not up to standard, and majority of them are nearing. Some of them are in a bad shape. Some are sinking. Some are tilting. Like you saw what happened at the Lekki Palm City. Now, in a situation, okay, where you are buying a building and you can't ascertain the expertise of the person selling, it is very important. And this is why sometimes I always mandate proper site inspection. In fact, there are some projects that I've gone to check on behalf of some of our investors, and the situation there. So when you buy a building that is, or when houses within those areas are distressed, either they are tilting or they are sinking, every other project within those areas are under risk. You should know very well that Lagos state government don't play with safety. So as you are investing, be mindful of distressed building, because you see, when one or two buildings in that axis is affected. Are we together? Government has no choice than to take over the entire land because it will tell you it's under safety. And when government are being forced to demolish, reclaiming that land has to go through a lot of rigorous and strenuous procedures. So please, another location you should look out for are areas where we have distressed building. So if you have looking forward to that, please pay attention to this video. And so these are some of the 4 important things you need to understand as demolition is looming. So let me just do a quick recap of some of the important things. It's going to be a short video. It should be out of here in the next 5-10 minutes. Of course, the days of having lengthy videos. The reason why this video will have to be short basically is that we're having problem with power supply. Okay, and I don't want to put on the generator. If I should put on the gen now, the sound of the generator will be entering the live session. So our inverter is very low, so we need to cut today's live broadcast short. But by the special grace of God, tomorrow we are going to be here by the special grace of God, and also by the special grace of God, next week we are going to start properly. Of course, we should have been able to resolve the area of power. It takes a lot to come online. Now, what most people see when we come online, they just feel we're here just to talk. It takes a lot, especially in Nigeria, whereby we are the one generating our electricity, we are the one generating our internet. It takes a lot to be consistent. It takes a lot to do business in Nigeria, and some of these things we are doing it from our own personal pockets. So sometimes our situations are not favorable. Today, it has not been sunny because we're on power, we're on inverter, so it has been cloudy. The cloud has been there, so our inverter system cannot work this long. In fact, doing the live session to this, it shows how committed we are to informing you. So I'm just going to give a 5 minutes session for questions. If you are not so familiar with some of these things, you can ask questions. So what are the areas you should avoid, or so the areas you should avoid as you are investing? I'll be doing this. Okay, my director told us, Mr. Isaac, please check our power supply. Can this just take us for 20 minutes? Okay, it can't take us for 20 minutes. So I'll just run through some of those things, and of course, be rest assured that we're going to we're going to adequately address this. So the thing of you look out for the right of ways. Okay, so there are different types of right of ways. If you're investing or you're buying properties, mindful of the power line. Be mindful of the power line. Don't go and buy property that is very close or under the power line. Now, there is a right of way or there's a setback that has been stipulated. Now, kindly note, okay, that this setback varies from location to location. In Ekpe, it might be 10 meters. In ibeju-lekki, it might be 20 meters. In Abramadesona, it might be 30 meters. The most important thing basically is that as you are investing, be mindful of this power line. Then the also thing you should also look out for is the coastal line. Now, the coastal line basically right now has been one of the most unpredictable. So sometimes any property facing the sea, facing the beach, facing the shoreline, sometimes I usually recommend that if you cannot ascertain, okay, the actual setback that has been stipulated, okay, sometimes it's very important. Now, the rail line, I also talked about another right of way you should avoid is the rail line, and I gave instance of what is coming to the Lekki Epe Expressway. So you obviously want to look at that also. So you should also look out for drainage channels. Okay, drainage channels are very, very important. In fact, the government will demolish the moment your project is sitting on the drainage channel. So these are some of the things that you should look out for as you are investing in Lagos. So I just have to run through some of those things, and I gave instances of distress building. I gave instances like that. So you obviously also want to look at that as well. So if you have questions, please do well to drop them for me on the comment section. Okay, if you can also send it to us at propertykings@gmail.com. Property Kings Court. Property Kings Court at gmail.com. You can also send us an email. Okay. Then, if you also want to send us an email via WhatsApp, of course, if you're following our videos, uh, functional WhatsApp lines are there. So, because of the power situation that we are currently experiencing, this live session will not exceed this particular one. So, I want to say a very big thank you. It was a short notice. I'm glad I'm here. Happy New Year to probably people might be seeing my video for the first time. I had a lot of challenges, so I've been away, but thank God I'm here, hale and hearty. We give glory to God. I also want to say a big thank you to everybody who asked after me. I really appreciate this. Thank you. So let's do this tomorrow by God's grace. See you and God bless you. Bye for now.